This is WGRG 100.5 FM, where we meet the absolute minimum FCC broadcasting standards. It's time to hang on and brace yourself for a community radio program that's frankly indescribable. Let's talk Geneseo. Two guys with nothing better to do on a Friday morning but to talk about our community. Geneseo City Administrator Brandon Meglin and City Alderman Keith Kennett. And yeah, nobody, and I mean nobody, puts the blah in blah, blah, blah like these guys do.
And it's time for blah, blah, blah on this Friday morning. Let's talk Geneseo. I'm Keith Kennett, along with Brandon Meglin. Happy to be here on this fun Friday morning. Just a little bit of a heads up there, if you are watching the weather, there is kind of a nasty heading our way if it all holds together and stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if in 45 minutes or an hour or so, maybe there's some sort of weather advisories and that sort of thing. So just be aware of that. But also, depending on how fast that moves and what happens, our emergency alert system is all automated. So you may at some point during the broadcast stop hearing us and maybe hear some tones and the familiar voice of the National Weather Service out of the Quad Cities issuing an advisory if needed. So just a heads up to our listeners on that aspect. Since we've had school announcements, we've had other things kind of be part of our program. But if there is a weather alert, that would be a first, Brandon.
Hopefully it breaks up at the river, right?
That's what we're hoping. But we're monitoring it here, and it doesn't seem to be weakening at all. So we'll
maybe 9:30. It's looking like.
Oh, no, it'll be before then.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say, 45 minutes, maybe an hour.
Okay.
Type thing. I'm not a meteorologist, but I know someone that is. As we all do, as our guest was Andy just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Stutsky trained you 2 weeks ago. Well.
Yeah, so look out. Yes. So with that, though, again, we thank you very much for tuning in, and those of you watching on the stream as well. But we're happy to have two guests with us this morning, and as per usual, we'll turn it over to Brandon to start off our interview with our first guest.
Yep. Fortunate this morning to be joined by two guests in the studio. They're both new to the program, first-time guests, hopefully not the last time. We have Claire Crawford from the Geneseo Public Library System and Joe Bedford from the Geneseo VFW with us here today. I'm going to start with Claire this morning. Well, first off, if you've listened to the program, Claire, we like to put people on the spot a little bit. We have some prep questions we go over and things, but maybe if we can start by just a little bit of an introduction. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How'd you get involved in the Geneseo Library program and become the director there?
Well, I had been a school librarian for 10 years, and I had worked at the Aledo Library for 13 years, and Geneseo is a wonderful community. So when the past director retired, I applied, and luckily I got the job. So
excellent.
I've had a little bit of experience in middle school, too. I was a middle school librarian. So, we try to get programs for all ages, because that's why I like the library the best, because you have children and you have senior citizens and families come in, and so we're trying to kind of be user-friendly. In the future, we're trying to get some new materials for the children. The new thing are they're called Vox books. They're books that you push a button and they read to you while you're reading. And they have, Dolly Parton has one, and they sing to you while you're reading. And it captures kids that maybe are more reluctant readers. They love those books. That's something new. And then in the future, we're on the beginning stages of getting a reading garden that outside of the teen area, an outdoor reading. I think that'll be marvelous for all ages to sit out there and read, study, whatever, be outside.
Excellent. So when was the new library facility, for some of us that haven't been in Geneseo all that long, when was the new facility built there?
It was 2011, October 1st.
Okay. And the this outdoor reading garden, that's kind of one of the big planned capital projects for the library, or
in the future,
yeah.
In the future, we're starting a little phase at each, starting it out, and we're going to maybe this year fence it in and get a door built, and then slowly add furniture and just build it up.
Nice. Nice. So what are some of the, for some of us like myself who doesn't visit libraries too often anymore, what are some of the big programs that you guys have going on there? What are some of the, I guess, some of the great resources that you may have that people may not know about in the community?
Well, we have a great summer reading program this summer, and it's called Read, Renew, Repeat, and it starts on June 17th. And we have all sorts of things, like we have the Incredible Bats coming. We have a bubble show. At the end, we're going to have the snow cone truck come, and we're going to have prizes, and we're going to have like Dairy Queen cone coupons, and going to the fitness or the swimming pool in the summer. So we're giving out really good prizes, and we're giving out books, and kids really like that because we have a treasure chest and they can pick what they want. Mm-hmm. And then for the adults, we have an adult summer reading program, and they can read. And so many of them like to read on their iPad, and so we are giving the grand prize is an iPad. So I think they'll like that. But we try to attract people of all ages. The thing I don't think people realize that we do is, Geneseo loves music, and we have Miss Tina come in the first Friday of the month for the little kids, and then it's later on in the month for the older kids. And they to see the music going in the library and the kids dancing, and then they have their music, and then they come get their books, and they love that. She's an excellent teacher, a lot of enthusiasm. But I don't think people realize how in our library system, we have 9 million items. And so when people want a book, we don't always have it because we are a small library, but we have interlibrary loans, so we can get that book from the other libraries. And we have daily delivery, so if you want a book, and you can just put a hold on it or call us, and we'll put a hold on it. And as soon as it comes in, we're set. So that's the beauty. I mean, we have a little teeny library, but there's 9 million items in our system, so that's kind of amazing.
Yeah, one of the other things that I didn't know was that popular. I happen to live with someone who really enjoys this, but where you can actually, I don't know if it's on an app through the library or what it is, but where you can check out the digital books to read on an iPad or your Kindle or your device, right, and have access to check it out in a digital aspect. Correct. And use it through the library system. How does that work? Is that an application or something?
Yeah, you just find the book that you want, and then you put your library card in. No spaces, just your library card. And everyone calls us and says, "What's your PIN number?" But your PIN number is your last 4 digits of your library card number, and they do that. You can download actual books or download audio books. I mean, it's wonderful to read or listen to. It's a great service. But we just we have meetings with other libraries, and we share performers, like they might perform somewhere in the morning and then somewhere with us in the afternoon to save some money. And it's just, we have some wonderful performers.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, anything else going on this summer coming up that you wanted to mention or make sure we talked about this morning?
Another thing we have a lot of things like there's it's from the Figgy, and it used to be called Art in the Cart, but now it's called Figgy's Big Picture. And we have a grant that we had gotten, and what they do is they come and they have these artists come out and do programs with the kids. And it used to be, Art in a Cart. Now it's the Big Picture. But I mean, people from like the museum, the Figgy Museum, come out, and they call them outreach coordinators, and they come, and so you don't have to drive to the Figgy. It's here. So I mean, it's just we try to do a lot of partnerships and help out, different, work. We try to work with the Quad City libraries too.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, well, thanks for coming in, Claire.
Appreciate
you being here. Stick around while we speak with Mr. Bedford next here.
Thank
and
you.
Actually, I'm going to kind of jump in. And Claire, thank you very much. But you may have heard, too, some stuff in the background. But just a little bit of a weather update. They have issued a severe thunderstorm warning for eastern Henry County. We're right on the edge of it, and that runs for about another 50 minutes or so. But it looks as though if you're taking, students to school or what have you, that probably the storms will be in town after that. But would guess in about an hour or so we would have a chance for some severe weather. and I would guess that they would include us in a potential future warning, even though we're really only about 1.5 miles away from the edge of the warning that they had just issued. So anyway, just wanted to share that, and at some point, again, we might be interrupted by some automatic stuff, but we are watching it. So with that, back to Brandon.
Excellent. So now we shift over to Mr. Joseph Bedford, who also joins us here this morning. Thanks for being here, Joe.
Thanks for inviting me, Brandon.
For those who don't know, we'll let Joe introduce himself a little bit, but Joe has done and still does a lot of things in the community. He's also, I almost forgot that you serve on the city's plan commission board,
do.
too.
Yes, I do.
But why don't you give us your background in law enforcement and kind of the things you've been up to recently?
About two and a half years ago, I retired from the Henry County Sheriff's Office after 25 years. I worked all aspects from dispatch to corrections to patrol, and finished my career in investigations. I was a U.S. Navy veteran, served on board the Enterprise, and no matter how hard I looked, I couldn't find Spock or Scotty. They weren't on there.
We need more power.
Yeah, that's right. I served in the personnel office. I was a clerk. I was like Radar O'Reilly on the ship. So after that, after I got out of the service, I ended up getting into law enforcement. I kind of find a niche there. A lot of us veterans, especially in the 80s when I got out, they didn't really have all these programs to integrate you back into civilian life. So I figured might as well try law enforcement. You can't beat them. You might as well join them. So I found my niche there because there's a lot of veterans that actually do go into law enforcement. We, like I say, finished my career there. During my career, I was afforded the opportunity to work for the National Center for Biomedical Research and Training, which is LSU, Louisiana State University. It's a consortium of grants for law enforcement and first responders. They put a pile of money in there, and the colleges go through and make homeland security classes for first responders. Now we're getting into the civilian market now as well. Over there I teach weapons of mass destruction, WMD tactical operations for SWAT. I teach site protection observational techniques. That's more for observation of anybody nefarious in the area, knowing what to look for, teaching law enforcement that. We do a run, hide, fight class I'm pretty proud of, and I know you guys have taken that class here in Geneseo. Yep. Let's see. I do a laser class, too. It's active shooter class for law enforcement. I've been doing that for about 16 years, traveling all over the United States, Puerto Rico, and Virgin Islands. Been there, too, instructing law enforcement on that. Also, during my career in the sheriff's office, after 9/11, Illinois Law Enforcement Alarm System kicked off a special response team for 19 counties. They broke them up into regions. And basically, we were the first strike force for WMD, or a terrorist event. We went all the way up to Joe Davis County, all the way down towards Galesburg in that. We had a 19-county radius. So I trained there for 3 or 4 years also.
Excellent. So tell us about what you're doing right now. You've started up your own business called Special Operations Solutions. Kind of a mouthful.
It is.
SOS for short, I guess.
SOS for short. Yeah. It's kind of a play on words because our SWAT team at the sheriff's office was Special Operations Squad. And so I played around with the words a little bit and come up with SOS for my business also. My business was started about a year ago. Believe it or not, it's really, really hard to get a license in the state of Illinois. I don't know what that's about, but it's taken me about a year and a half. I can do unarmed or armed security. I can do executive protection. I'm qualified to do on-site security, whether it's armed or unarmed, like I just said. We do have a training aspect in here also, where we can come to your business, especially with HR reasons, teaching the run, hide, fight class, getting you certified in that. We are starting, we do a stop the bleed class also. And basically all that is, if something happens, whether you're camping with your family or whether, an active threat comes into your business or anywhere else, you'll know how to react to identifying the active threat and taking care of any injuries that might come about with tourniquets and combat bandage dressings. We teach people how to do that. It's only like an hour class. It's a great class too. You actually get to use the tourniquets and hands-on stuff. We show you how to do all that.
Excellent. So are you employing a lot of retired Henry County folks or local law enforcement that are coming to work for you guys?
Yep.
Or?
I pride myself on only hiring active law enforcement or retired law enforcement because they've been trained for many, many years in de-escalation. They're able to identify a threat or identify a situation and walk up and take care of it instead of like in the run, hide, fight class. When you went through, I call them the 3 Ds. You have to get over denial. I can't believe this is happening. Then you have to get into deliberation. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then you have to get to that third step, decisive action. So you have to get through the 2, denial and deliberation. Oh, what am I going to do? So when we train, we actually put a little stressors into it. We make sure the responders or whoever we're training in stop the bleed. We put them on a timer. If you want to see somebody's stress level jump to 100, say you're being timed for this, and you have to put that tourniquet on secure in 20 seconds. And it's fun to watch, but I'm telling you, after the class is done, they're just absolutely spot on with it.
Yeah, such an important training to do now, and I know there's school programs as well with the things we've seen going on around the country, and especially in then training people in businesses or even students on how to respond when law enforcement does show up too, right? That's a big piece of it, part of the training. So it's important work. Okay, thanks for sharing that with us. So we want to get to have time to talk about, so amongst those things that you're doing, you're also with the Geneseo VFW, do a lot of work. What's your official position there?
I'm the quartermaster. I'm back to doing paperwork again.
But at the city, we kind of use Joe as our contact for a lot of things that we coordinate and partner with the VFW on, and have appreciated their support the past couple of years, especially with a lot of things that we've done together, from the auxiliary program with the downtown banners, which we see flying right now, kind of just a really nice thing to be able to do to raise a little bit of money for the auxiliary folks, and a neat thing to see on State Street in Geneseo. Staggering the flags with actual service members, or families of service members, being able to honor their family members and veterans via those banners. Great program. You guys have been selling food as a fundraiser for the VFW for us at the Thrill on the Hill 4th of July event, which we'll talk a little about here in a couple of minutes. But I guess first off, the big one is this Monday we have Memorial Day coming up. So tell us a little bit about that. I know VFW is really the host of the program that we do in the city park, so share that with us.
Okay, at 9:15 on Monday, we'll start the ceremony. I think Isle of Flags goes up at 7:15, doesn't it?
7 a.m., I believe. 7
a.m.
Set up,
Well, muster up there, meet up there, and go ahead and help set the flags up for Isle of Flags. If you've never seen that, it's just absolutely phenomenal. I get lots of comments from veterans that's never been to our program before. They just can't believe how many flags we have. 9:15, the ceremony starts. We're going to have the junior high band up there playing a little music for everybody. And then we're going to have the ceremony's going to start. Todd Sieben, retired senator, is our master of ceremonies. And then we're going to have Major Kennard from the U.S. Army is going to speak. He's an Afghanistan, Iraq veteran, combat veteran. He was in ordnance, so if he talks real loud, we'll know why. So that's a very good program there. We're going to actually hand out the Bob DeVuver Scholarship that day to the recipient this year. She's actually agreed to read her essay that she wrote to the VFW, so it's going to be really good.
Is that for just Geneseo students, Joe? Or
yes, just Geneseo.
What is that scholarship? Can you explain?
It's a $750 scholarship we give out to seniors. There's some prerequisites on it. You really get more points if you have a VFW member that's at the VFW. That kind of always slides the scale a little bit. I don't mean to be biased, but that's a big important part for a VFW scholarship. Yeah. Bob DeBoover came up with that years and years and years ago. And we decided after he passed, we decided to name a scholarship after him. And Bob and Judy have been doing this memorial for their entire lives, as long as I've known them, since 2009. And it's just some big shoes to fill to try to get this program to keep going.
Yeah. Yep. Always a great program at the city park. Encourage everybody to come out. So if it does, there is a rain forecast on Monday as well.
Of course.
But the high school is the backup
Yes,
plan. Is it
high
the
school.
Performing Arts Center? Or?
I can't remember if it's the gymnasium or the performing arts.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking gym, but I'm not sure if that's somewhere in the high school.
Yes.
And
Okay.
And if that call is made, Joe, how could people? Would that be posted on social media, or how?
Yeah.
Or if you go to the park and nobody's there,
Right.
head to the high school.
We used to call that in the detective world a clue.
There you go. I'm getting it now.
But yeah, we do have a Facebook page. We'll reach out and let everybody know that it's been moved.
Yeah, we'll try to share that with the city page
Okay.
too, and I'm sure the chamber will as well if there's a last minute call to move to the high school. Make sure we get some detail on there. So I guess the other piece of
Yep.
okay, it'll stay in the background. I guess they can still hear us. What is this one, Keith?
At some
Let's
point
see.
it'll
Maybe
kick
we
in,
should say.
but it's just the weather service is issuing
Tornado
now
warning.
a tornado warning. Again, this is still a ways away from us. It hasn't even made it to Davenport yet, but it is coming our way.
Right.
So monitor the weather, and if you are concerned about it, you'd probably want to tune to a more authoritative voice than than we are. But I know enough to know that this isn't imminent. But it wouldn't surprise me now, and if about half an hour, 45 minutes, it's knocking on our door here in town. So
Yeah.
sorry for that weather interruption.
And it is a tornado warning, so take proper precautions.
Yeah.
Heed the National Weather Service warning. If
And some of these, we have the alerts and what have you. What's interesting about this, though, is this is a pretty significant bow echo on this one, and we're at the tip of the bow if it holds together. So yeah, you'd want to be just aware of this. But again, I'm estimating it's a good half hour, 45 minutes away.
yeah, okay. So be weather alert during the program.
There you go, Joe.
A great time to listen to Let's Talk Geneseo. As you
Right.
shelter in the basement,
Yeah.
why not? That's okay. So back to Memorial Day. I guess the last thing with Iowa flags, want to make sure, as Joe mentioned, setup is around 7 a.m. in the morning. They're always looking for good volunteers, or really anybody that can carry a flagpole to show up. And it takes a lot of people to make that display that Joe talked about out there. So 7 a.m. is set up, 2 p.m. is teardown. I know a lot in the past, a lot of people like to do the setup. It's kind of fun to see it come together, but they also need participants to show up and help tear everything down. And sometimes I know they're a little bit light on people to take that action to actually clean everything up. So I would encourage people to consider the 2 p.m. teardown as well. That's this Monday.
Yep.
On Memorial Day.
And would second that as, we try and help out too, but it does seem there are more in the morning than in the afternoon, and probably the putting away process is a little bit more to it than the setting up.
There it
But I also know too, back on weather related things, but also if there is a likely threat of rain, a lot of times they won't fly them because it can just
Right.
create a problem trying to dry them out.
Or if it does rain, they might have to wait an extra day
Okay.
to take them down after that to make sure everything's dry.
Yeah. Yep. So the other thing we wanted to touch on was the Thrill on the Hill 4th of July fireworks celebration and related events. VFW is also a big partner in that. So, Joe, can you share what the VFW is going to be doing at Thrill on the Hill this year?
Yes, we are going to continue with our beverage tent, or beverage building, I should say, up there on the hill. We're actually cooking extra pork chops because we ran out so fast last year. It's just hard to judge where you're going to stand with the food aspect of it. We'll have candy for the kids. We will have pork chops, burgers, and hot dogs again this year.
Excellent. That will be a fun event. We do have plans for weather at that event as well this year. There will be bands playing regardless. We're going to move indoors to Shelter 4. We have the hospital tent ready if we need it. July 4th, there will be entertainment at the park. VFW will be there to sell beer if that happens, and then we'll shoot fireworks the next night, July 5th. VFW will be back if that happens to sell beer and food that night. So there are plans in place for that as well. Just want everybody to know that. Anything else to share, Joe, while you're here this morning?
Sure. On June 15th, about 11 a.m., we're going to have 50 bikers coming in to the VFW. It's a Banding for Benefits poker run. And what this guy does is he does a poker run all through the Quad Cities area and Henry County. And what they do is stop at all the VFWs. It's actually to give money back to the VFWs because some of them are struggling real bad. Some of them had to give up their buildings and their charters because, the membership is down. We're working really hard right now in Geneseo. We reach out to all the veterans coming back from Afghanistan and Iraq, trying to get them guys signed up for their benefits. They're doing really good in the military right now to where you sign up for your VA benefits before you are discharged. But then we follow up with them to make sure everything's all right. And we're going to have about 50 bikers there, a little food. They'll be here in town for about a half an hour, 45 minutes, and I know that's right during Music Fest. So we will try not to interrupt anything as best we can. But it looks like it's going to be a pretty good event from what I'm understanding from the organizers. So
Excellent. Well, thank you guys, Claire and Joe, both for being here today. A couple other quick things to share. I want to mention that we have kind of new city shirts for sale.
We do.
On the city's Facebook page, you can go check out. We partnered up with the local shop here, Mango Merch, All in Stitches, to design kind of a throwback Victorian script. Nice, high-quality Bella canvas shirt. There's hooded sweatshirts, long sleeve, short sleeve shirts. It's not a fundraiser, just really kind of a nice new design that we created. The city's, again, it's not a fundraiser or a revenue generator for anything. They're being sold at the cost that Mango Merch quoted the city at to sell these things. Just kind of a nice thing to do, to have shirts on hand. A lot of people walk into City Hall from out of town and say, can you get a City of Geneseo shirt, or do you have anything to sell? And we like to keep those on stock for those situations too, and for employees to have some city gear. So check that out if you want to order. It's an online store. It's open through June 3rd. If you want to get online and see those. Quick mentions, June 1st, last lighting of the Mayor's Christmas tree. It's a Chamber of Commerce event being organized by the Chamber, will take place. Kind of the final tree lighting of the current tree that unfortunately has reached the end of its lifespan will be replaced by a new tree in that spot for this year's Christmas walk in December. And then June 6th, Chamber of Commerce event, mural projection night. This is the Harold Newman mural that will be going on the side of the Mel Foster building downtown. Really beautiful design. Should be a fun projection party like always at night. And then you'll get to see that painting take place. And for the next few days, the artists will be out there painting. Kind of a fun process to stop by and check out.
Lots of stuff happening in Geneseo, as always, and as we get into the summer months, it seems there's even more going on, and so no lack of opportunities to get involved in things. June 1st, also the first Shoot the Loop of the season. That'll be happening kind of late afternoon. I think they moved the start time up on that some, so there'll be plenty of time to do that, and maybe go have a nice meal or something in town and come back for the Christmas tree festivities that start later on in the evening on that Saturday, June 1st.
Can shoot the loop, roll right into the last lighting of the tree. That section of State Street, 2nd and State, will be shut down for the tree lighting. Will be open. Logistics have been coordinated to make sure Shoot the Loop can still take place. I think they'll wrap up right around 7 o'clock, and the street will close for the last lighting. So should be a fun night, though.
There you go. Well, with that, you can start hearing some of the announcements in the background, so that's going to wrap up the program for this morning. Back on the weather information, though, we are technically under a tornado warning. The storm is just about to the Quad City Airport now. Again, I am not an expert, but I'm guessing that probably about 20, 30, 40 minutes or so, it'll probably be in the Geneseo area. This one does look fairly strong, so just be aware of that as you're keeping an eye on things later on this morning.
Yeah.
So with that, Brandon, always a pleasure on those shirts and stuff that the city's making. And I did, by the way, go and order one
Excellent.
online. A very simple process. I might say they're, insofar as shirts go, they're very affordable.
Yeah.
It was like $13 or something.
It's a good price up. Yeah, no markup. Like I said, no fundraiser. There's not $5 on top of this for some cause. It's just kind of a fun new thing.
Yeah.
People want to buy it, check it out. And they're the nice shirts. They're the kind of the soft feel ones.
Yeah, you don't want,
Yeah.
right, you want to be comfortable in it
Yeah.
and stuff, yeah. Yeah, something like that. But I didn't see anything about, any Let's Talk Geneseo swag or anything on the
No.
website. Maybe we can build to that for
I think 2025, might be our year for an official Let's Talk Geneseo T-shirt. We'll see.
yeah, maybe.
I don't know who's going to buy them, but
There might be a family member or somebody that feels obligated to
Christmas gifts.
buy one. What could be better
Yeah.
than that? Yeah. All right. Well, with that, I think we need to wrap things up here. But we do appreciate very much everyone tuning in. Joe and Claire, thank you so much for coming in and sharing all the good things going on, especially at the library and stuff. It's one of the jewels of the community is the library. So always remember that it's there, and all the things they do beyond books that are important for the community. Yep. And with that, I'm Keith Kennett, along with Brandon Meglin. Real quick, should give your email out again if you have any questions or comments that you would like to see addressed on the program. You can email Brandon at.
Sure. Yep. Give us your show ideas, topics you want discussed, guests you'd like to see on. If you'd like to come on, let us know. bmeglin at cityofgeneseo.com. That's BMAEGLIN at cityofgeneseo.com. And stay safe out there today. Pay attention to the weather right now.
There you go. Okay. Well, thanks, Brandon. Again, thanks, Claire. Thanks, Joe. And you've been listening to Let's Talk Geneseo on WGRG 100.5 FM in Geneseo. Have a great weekend.